and surrounding areas. Check them out on Facebook, allthatblooms.com. That's BLOOMZ.
Here at Infusion Solutions, one of the things that we're most proud of is the relationship that we develop with our patients.
From the people on the phone to the delivery drivers, I mean, these people are a part of my life. They take care of me. I would recommend Infusion Solutions to anybody.
Discover what we're all about right now at Infusion Solutions.
All right, guys, we are back, and apparently we had some technical difficulty. I think Coach was over there snoring so loud that nobody could hear us. Is that what was going on? So, as we were talking about, we talked about Kentucky struggling against Northern Illinois, and of course they're going to get Rodriguez back this week. We talked about East Carter, how they went to battle Lawrence County there in Grayson. Me and Jeff and Kent were down there. I was up on top of the press box. Great night for football. Lawrence did whatever they wanted to. First half, the end of the second quarter really killed East Carter's chances to go and try to make a comeback. Anytime you're down, I think the score was 35-14 at the half. East got the ball to come out. They couldn't capitalize. They had a punt, and then Lawrence punted back to them. Then East went and scored, so it's 35-21. I said, hey, guys, I'm telling you, this game ain't over with yet. Tim Champlin's team does not quit. They're just not made that way. It seemed like any time East Carter got a little momentum that Lawrence County would put their foot on the pedal just a little bit and stop that run. I think the Eastside kid threw the ball really well downfield. The Gillespie kid, anytime they wanted that little hitch route, he was there. Anytime. If it was 3rd and 5, 2nd and 5, whatever, they throw it over there to him. Corners and defensive coordinators respect that kid so much that when he gets in the ball in space, buddy, he can go to the house. It don't matter where they're at on the field. So, of course, East Carter did lose that game. And like I said, boys, Lawrence County can win that district. I'm telling you right now, the flexbone triple option style that they run, they just hand it off, and their running back, number 8 Ferguson, when he gets the ball, he's not going to go down the first hit, man. He will put, if you don't hit him low, he's going to put you on his back and just carry you.
He's through the second level pretty quick, almost every time he carries it. He's a good athlete, and Coach and Spence, like we was talking earlier, don't count this out as maybe 2 teams that will be playing to go on in the playoffs.
Right.
Because what I'm seeing so far by that district, those are the 2 top quality teams right now.
Absolutely.
And don't be surprised you don't see them fighting it out to see who goes on to the regionals and on in to football, towards state, towards Lexington.
Absolutely. We've seen maybe potentially 2 district champions. Potentially. Of course, Pikeville, what they did to LCA, we talked about that a little bit. I don't know if they hurt us on that one. I'll never go against Pikeville again.
What about when they match up with the Rams?
I can tell you right now, that'd be a really bad day for Raceland.
A lot of athletes up there in Pikeville, and I'm not taking nothing from Raceland. That'll be a game to watch. And I think we talked about it earlier, Spence, before Coach got here, that the way the playoffs is out, that everybody's saying that they were going to play for the state championship if they get that far, both teams. I think it's not going to happen, is it?
Let me rephrase this. That will be maybe the game of the year. Now that I sit and think about that.
It'll be the de facto state championship whenever they play, but RPI is going to determine who the home team is.
Isn't that terrible, though?
Yeah.
That game should be at Kroger Field. And I don't think it's any secret. Listen, I think Hazard's pretty good. They're nowhere close to Raceland and Pikeville.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen Pikeville do the last couple of weeks after they blew Belfry out of the water and then what they did to LCA, and I know LCA's down. They're not typical LCA. Still LCA.
But look how good they played in those first couple of games that they lost.
Yeah.
Playing powerhouse football programs.
They beat Belfry, 4 or 5 touchdowns anyways, LCA did. And I don't know, man.
They're a good team.
You know what would be really bad is if that – I don't think that's a real – I think Rachel could win that game. If I had to put a spread on it right now, I say Pikeville. I think Pikeville wins, and I don't think it's a one-score game. Give me Pikeville.
You never know with injuries, things of that nature.
We still got a long, like you said, Coach.
Right. If they played right now, I would put Pikeville 10.
We're in week, 7?
What would you do?
I haven't seen Pikeville, but Raceland, look, from Pikeville scores, it's going to be a battle.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give it to the team that's got the home field advantage.
So you think
I know it sounds kind of crazy.
Raceland will have the home field advantage, I think.
Yeah,
well, it's going to come down to the RPI.
Well, I can tell you a critical game in that. Raceland and Lawrence County. And I think Raceland will win that game.
Yeah.
I think what's critical, too, is if Russell would win some games.
Yeah.
If Russell wins some games, then that pretty much secures Raceland home field advantage throughout the playoffs, essentially.
See, a lot of these schools have been playing some out-of-state, and that kills you. No matter how good the quality of the out-of-state team, you don't get points.
I don't know.
That you do, and that's
wrong,
wrong.
Merle. It's a win-win for Raceland when Greenup and Russell play.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. It may hurt them more if Russell wins and beats Greenup because they want Greenup to be, in the eyes of Raceland, they want Greenup to win out.
Sure.
Because you want that at least one really, really good team on your resume. I'm not saying Fort Thomas Highlands is not, but
and they want Paintsville to win.
Right.
All their games.
Sure.
Every game except for when you play them, you want them to win.
Yeah.
And I know
it's just RPI is just.
I don't like the format.
I'm not a coach. I'm not a big RPI guy. I think that just runs high school football.
Well, when you've got Raceland 9 and Pikeville 11 this week, and they're clearly the two best teams.
Is that where they're at this week?
Yeah, they're 9-11.
And Hazard's number 1 still. Right?
Yeah. I think Bracken County's like in the top 5, and they beat Lewis County 8-6.
And that's what you see.
Nothing against Bracken, but
and it does hurt you field-wise towards the playoffs, and that's
Russell's going to have to do something about that.
Russell's only got 3 teams behind them in AAA.
But that's not. Russell's better than. I think.
Yeah, Lewis, Fleming, teams that won't play them, but they're like 36 out of 39 teams.
Yeah.
And they almost beat Dunbar the other night.
Yeah.
And
Almost beat Wheelersburg.
It's not right when you play a team like Wheelersburg. You should get some.
I'll say this.
They're still a young team. Russell's still a young team.
I'll say this.
Looking for leadership.
And I'm going to get a little ahead of myself here. When Raceland and Pikeville play, Raceland will have to run the ball better than it has all year. Because I can tell you what Pikeville's going to do. They're going to man up, and they're real physical in their secondary.
They're going to come after you and sack the ball.
And I tell you what benefits Raceland a little bit. They're going to have to defend Blake Birchfield, which is he's kind of like the Isaac Dixon down there this year.
Yeah.
Raceland's front seven is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And I thought that until Greenup ran for almost 250 yards on him Friday night.
Yeah.
So it's either, maybe Raceland's front sevens is not as good as I thought it was, or maybe Greenup's just that good.
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
Greenup's not too bad. I think,
No, Greenup's good. Greenup's good, but I think
run.
Raceland's elite.
Yeah.
I think Raceland's elite.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody around here should ever play with Raceland. And that shows you how good Greenup is.
Yeah.
I think them playing Highlands will probably help them against Pikeville, because last year I went down to Pikeville. It was like Pikeville's speed and physicality just kind of overwhelmed Raceland at the beginning of the year, and hopefully by playing a Highlands, Lawrence will be a good preparation, that they'll be ready for that. And the playoff intensity is going to be a little bit higher than, I don't know if Raceland kind of walked in at Greenup and thought, hey, this is somebody we're going to dominate, and Greenup showed them they weren't, because, Greenup has a loss to Boyd County, and, that kind of inexplainable. I mean, Boyd County's got a good ball club, but
it's been that year though.
Yeah, because Greenup beat Lawrence. What do you think about Lawrence and Boyd this week?
Well, I'm going to get to that here in a minute. Ashland went down to Hazard. Coach, it almost seemed like Ashland scored all their points last week. Played 4 quarters down there, 12-minute full quarters, and only scored 7. And I don't know. I didn't get to watch any film on that game. I didn't really get to see a lot of stats out of that game.
But Hazard was averaging 50. And they didn't score. They both scored.
Ashland had both their linebackers back. I think Ingram played in that game though, so that helped them. That helped them a lot.
Yeah.
And if you know Hazard from around here, man, that stuff lays flat.
Yeah.
So Ashland dropped that game. Lewis County, Powell County, Lewis, the Lions, the pride of Kinnikinnick.
Big goal line stand.
Big goal line stand there at the end of the game.
Clinches them at least third probably in the district.
Prestonsburg still undefeated. They went on and beat East Ridge 42-36, Raceland, of course, 48-28. Shelby Valley 54-21 over West Carter. Let's see who else we got here. We got Pike Central beat Floyd Central. How about this? And I know this is not in our area, but since their win against Russell, Montgomery County won another game.
Did they?
Yeah. They beat Grant County. I don't know anything about Grant County. Mason County over Pendleton. Leslie County took it to Fairview. I still am not giving up on those boys in Westwood.
Martin County destroyed Bath County.
But you knew that was going to happen. We all sit here and said that.
Yeah.
We all sit here and said that.
So that's going to set up a match this week, West and Bath.
Yeah.
I think it's our first game.
Yep.
Can the Comets get their first win down in Owensville?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not picking that. We'll go ahead and pick that game. West Carter.
I think West Carter too.
I go with West Carter.
All right. See, you're jumping the gun, Merle. Okay. So before we go into next week's games, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Sports Central on Eastern Kentucky Athletics and the Cool Hits Sports Network.
The award-winning florist All That Blooms has a new location, 402 East Main Street, across from Pritchard Elementary in Grayson, with gifts for all occasions including birthdays, sympathy, holidays, and anniversaries. Shop Monday and Tuesday 9 to 5, Wednesday 9 to 2, Thursday 9 to 5, and Saturday 9 to noon, closed on Sunday. Call 474-0390 for All That Blooms at 402 East Main, your full-service florist serving Grayson and surrounding areas. Check them out on Facebook, allthatblooms.com. That's BLOOMZ.
Here at Infusion Solutions, one of the things that we're most proud of is the relationship that we develop with our patients.
From the people on the phone to the delivery drivers, I mean, these people are a part of my life. They take care of me. I would recommend Infusion Solutions to anybody.
Discover what we're all about right now at Infusion Solutions.
They are elite. Ashland's front seven is the only one that I've seen besides Belfry in this year's Raceland. That's
You talk about that 2020 team?
yeah. And Raceland's right there with them, boys. So I'm glad they heard it. So
You're on.
I know I am. I'm glad they heard it. That's what we talk about. We have to set coach straight in the commercial breaks. So let's go ahead and jump into some college. Of course, you're going to make the trip to Oxford. You said 11 of your friends.
We've got 10 people.
You got 11
going.
friends?
No, not really. A lot of them go to Oxford. We're going to win that game.
We're going to win.
Smoke will be more effective as a counteraction. Rodriguez is the bull, and then the speed back. That's how it was.
But does he hit the ground running?
He's going to try to establish Rodriguez.
Yeah,
See how he does.
He's been practicing.
Does Ole Miss stack the box? Or
I just want to know how much.
I hope so.
Yeah.
you think Dane Key and Barry Brown and Robinson are going to beat them deep downfield?
Yeah.
I kind of wonder what the restrictions were on Rodriguez in practice. Has he really been practicing hard, or is this first week of practice? Because if it's the first week of practice, it's going to take him some time to develop and get his condition.
He's been practicing.
So if he's been
I
practicing,
listened
game
to
time's different.
Stoops, and he's been running with the first team, but then he goes down and runs scout team.
okay.
He's been getting hit, and
And
This
as long as
afternoon
he's,
game, ESPN will be following right after College Game Day.
this might be what Kentucky needs, really.
I got a wedding to
To
go
go
to,
in there and win this.
and it's going to cut time closer. We better not go to overtime. We got to win or lose by 3:30. Okay. I haven't won there since 1977.
Kiffin has really been
That's
on
getting
the
back there when-
fans for not showing up. It's sold out now.
Sold out. Well, not just the fans. They can't even give away tickets to the
Right?
students.
I know.
Is that getting back close?
That's how
to
Merle got tickets.
That's getting
He's got-
back
he's
close
sitting
to
in
the
the
Manning
student section
era.
down
ain't
there.
it? Wasn't there Manning? Wasn't there Manning playing in Ole Miss back then?
Huh?
Wasn't there Manning at Ole Miss back
In
then?
the 60s,
One. How about Eli?
Eli, yeah,
Was in
that
the-
was in the early 2000s.
2000s, yeah.
But you
We
got,
didn't play
So we
him
missed
at
it.
Ole
We
Miss.
missed a Manning in between.
Well,
there.
you said it was 12 years since we played down there.
Yeah, 2010.
And actually, we won that game.
There you go.
No, did we win that game?
Stoops is 0-10 against the SEC West on the road.
On the road.
I'm sure that's in his crawl.
Yeah, but our SEC West games are at Mississippi State, and every year we go down there and play, they've got one of their better teams.
How about Ole Miss? Who they beaten?
Well, they haven't beat anybody great, but who have we beaten that's great?
Florida didn't look
Florida.
bad.
You gonna call
against
Florida great?
Tennessee. No, not great, but better than Georgia
Tennessee's
Tech.
defense couldn't stop anything.
Georgia Tech, Tulsa.
Terrible. And struggled against Tulsa.
Right.
Struggled against Tulsa. I don't know. I don't put any stock in comparing scores.
I know.
I just don't do that.
But I don't think their defense is and he's not throwing the ball near.
Yeah, Kentucky gave up a lot of points to Northern Illinois. Didn't look great. You can say play down their competition.
You're not
Their
going
defense
to
didn't look
hear this
great.
too often from me, but Kentucky by 2 scores.
Now we're doomed.
And now we're a touchdown underdog. That's what we were.
I'll
at Florida.
never, as long as Kentucky's undefeated, I'll never go against us until we play. If we go in undefeated against Georgia, I'm gonna pick Georgia. I can tell you right now. I will.
And you might have to eat your words on Tennessee because we might
You're getting like Lee Corso.
might be undefeated
and
going to Tennessee.
I hope I do eat it.
You're
I
getting
put-
like Lee Corso and the mascot head. You know that, don't you?
Lee Corso don't even know where he's at. Did you see him Saturday? Ooh, Lord.
Glad he's on there though.
Tradition. I mean, that's tradition.
Pat McAfee picks up his energy.
He does. Kentucky. Kentucky?
Kentucky.
And how are you going to not pick Kentucky? Kentucky. Another game, you spoke of the SEC West earlier. 2 SEC West teams. One, I believe, tried a last-second field goal and it hit off the top of the goalpost and also gave up a defensive touchdown where a player actually was getting tackled and lateraled it back. Arkansas and Alabama is going to play. This game's in Arkansas, Fayetteville. It's in Fayetteville. Alabama. Too much. Bryce Young. Alabama.
I'll take Bama. Also on that kick, they were playing in Cowboy Stadium or whatever that's called,
Jerry's
Jerry
World. Jerry's
And
World, is that
the
what it is?
goalposts are higher.
Yeah, the professional goal
In a
post.
col-
It should never be that
narrow.
close.
In
though.
a college,
You have
college,
to be. You have to be.
It should never be that close, though.
in the college, it would have. If they had been in a college, it would have gotten over that easily.
But would have been good, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just
No,
two-
would it have been good?
Yeah,
You think so? I think it'd been a toss-up.
yeah.
And those are non-reviewable.
Refs, yeah.
So
Those
you're
are
going with,
non-reviewable.
you went with Alabama over Arkansas?
Alabama.
How about Coach? What did you pick?
Bama.
Bama. We'll just make it all 3 Bamas because
Spencer?
too much talent there.
Spencer forgot my crown because I didn't miss a high school game or college or pro last
Yeah.
week.
What's up with
They
that?
might actually let you make picks in the Daily Independent this week. Whoa! Oklahoma State Baylor. That's a tough one.
Where's it at?
It's in Waco.
Baylor.
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 Oklahoma State's got 2 weeks prayer though.
College game day is going to go to Clemson, South Carolina, and they're going to play NC State, who I watched week 1 and every bit lost to East Carolina. East Carolina gave that game away. That game was done.
Can't compare scores.
So why is College game day going there when they got a bigger game down here at Ole Miss and Kentucky? Either way, Clemson.
Yeah, I think DJ. I don't know how to pronounce
But do
his
you know
last
what-
name.
yeah.
Do
you know why?
But Wake had him.
But do you know why they struggled? Wake has really tall, big physical receivers, and they picked on Clemson secondary all day long.
Well, their
State
secondary's
got
hurt
that.
because they had 2 freshman corners out there and they got lit up.
I know. NC State don't have that receiver threat
Right.
like Wake Forest
No.
does. Clemson.
I
At
agree.
home,
I agree with you on that one.
Night game, Clemson. Boys, West Virginia, you got that one right. West Virginia looked like a top 25 team against Virginia Tech, and that's kind of what Virginia Tech's been known for recently. If you're having bad times, go play Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, and you'll feel real good about yourself, and that's what West Virginia did. And they just went and did whatever they needed to do, and Virginia Tech was never in the game. I think that this game's in Morgantown. They're
Who
playing
they
Texas.
playing? Texas.
I think Texas too much for them. Longhorns. Don't get see what I mean? People will buy in to wins in Blacksburg. We still haven't gotten rid of the full. Virginia Tech sucks. I'll
Texas
say what
just
it
lost to Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is good. You gonna compare Texas Tech and West Virginia?
Texas had beaten Texas Tech like 10 in a row.
You know how hard it is to win in Lubbock?
I don't know. They had won 10 in a row. I'm going Nears.
Yeah, you just
JT Daniels.
You just lost.
Neil Brown. Doug Nestor. Spring Valley.
Burnt orange and white, Texas, West Virginia.
I'm gonna go with Texas. Hating to say this because I got a dear friend I played with, Raleigh Collins, at West Virginia Tech. His boy starts for WU. He's a freshman, one of the few freshmen starting. Great talent, but it's too much. Texas got too many athletes.
Texas.
They've been better scheduled.
Yeah. One thing West Virginia has going for them, they have the best fight song, or the best state song. They do, don't they?
Yeah.
For sure. Country Road, that's the best one. Guys, Marshall plays Gardner-Webb. I think we can all agree on that. But I want to talk about something else. is Marshall going to make a bowl game? After their win at Notre Dame, touchdown Jesus, you know, they won.
A little early yet.
Go look at their schedule. On their schedule right
Happy
now,
Sta-
let's say they go 3-2. Let's say hypothetically they beat Gardner-Webb, which they will. Okay, they've got James Madison, who beat Appalachian State. They've got Appalachian State, Georgia State or Georgia Southern. They've got Coastal Carolina. Then they've got the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Boys, you need 3 wins out of those. 3 wins. Those are really tough 3 wins for Marshall.
To go to the Gasparilla Bowl.
Or the Little Caesars Bowl.
Liberty Bowl.
Yeah. No, Liberty Bowl, they would definitely hang a banner for that one. But actually, I think Leftwich did play in the Liberty Bowl, didn't he?
You're going to make Gary Morris mad talking about the herd.
Well,
Normally, yeah.
they're susceptible to it losing to Bowling
Yeah.
Green. And then they got
Mississippi State.
Troy did what
hammered
they
Bowling
wanted.
Green.
Well, you might see
Look
a
what Troy
Marshall.
did to Marshall.
You might see a Marshall in a UK matchup in a bowl game.
Yeah, you might see, yeah. Marshall probably beat Ohio State in basketball.
I had to say that, Coach. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can't wait. As soon as Ohio State loses this year, I'm going to be calling you until you block my number. I hope they lose to Michigan. You know, surprisingly, there's a lot of Michigan fans around here. Isn't there? You know, you hear here or there.
But you got to remember that's in Columbus this year, and that team up north they got something coming.
It's not going to snow either. It'll be windy. And
I'll be at that one.
Well, you mean Ohio State's defense might show up?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't talk about the weather. That had nothing to do with it. Y'all's defense was awful last year. You know it was. Terrible.
Yeah, Michigan struggled against Maryland, though.
Yeah, they did.
In the pros, this game's on Thursday night. Of course, Cincinnati's wearing their all-white jerseys, who I think are the best alternate jerseys. Cincinnati dominated the Jets Sunday. Of course, the Browns lost to the Jets. I don't know how that happened. Miami goes to Cincinnati Thursday night. Bengals, too much. Wide out, too much.
Well, I think the fact that
Tua may not play.
the Dolphins' defense was on the field for 90 snaps
Against
in
the Chiefs.
in that heat. And then they come back and play a Thursday night game. I think that's going to have an effect.
That's what I was
No
gonna
way the Bills should have lost that game. Guy throws for 400 yards and you have 90
Didn't he drop a
snaps.
touchdown pass there at the end? Didn't the Bills have a chance to win it there at the end? They dropped a touchdown pass?
Well, they misplayed the clock both halves.
I know the offensive coordinator wasn't
Bills
happy.
he threw everything he had at the press box at the screen, so at the press box screen. So it's going to be tough.
You going
like
Cincinnati?
Coach said, it's a short week. It's a short week for the pros. They're already, about ready, almost there.
You Cincinnati?
Buddy, I tell you what, I'm going to go with. I think Joe Burrow is going to turn it around. I think he's starting to get his timing back a little bit, get the guys rolling. I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, Miami.
No.
He said Cincinnati.
Miami, 200 yards to Bills 400, and the Bills lost.
Yeah.
Miami also has a win over the Ravens. Remember that. So they got a win over probably the top 4 best teams in the AFC.
Wow, look at their wins.
I mean, they beat Baltimore
Yep. The Bills,
at Baltimore.
the Bills,
The Bills?
and the Belichicks.
Boys, that's a resume.
Not
This will be a tough game.
Not taking it from him, yeah. But
I'll
you
tell you
also,
what, if
you
Eli
also
Apple-
play in one of the championship teams.
You know
from
what would
the-
be funny? Watching Eli Apple match up against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, he
Tyreek Hill will eat him alive.
Did you see Apple's stats last week? One of the top PFF guys.
I promise you if Tyreek
I'll
Hill
tell you a
lines
big
up.
thing though today. DJ Reader out for a while.
Big defensive lineman.
Best nose guard in the game right now
Better than Chris
by
Jones.
PFF.
Better than Jones from
by
Kansas
PFF.
City. What is PFF?
Pro Football Focus. That's what they rate every player.
Whatever.
Created by
I
Chris
got the
Collinsworth.
Spencer Hutchison focus up here, and I can tell you.
SHS.
Yeah. We already picked. We're going to go into high school. We already picked West Carter and Bath. West Carter round. Floyd Central at Belfry. Belfry's really trying to just get their footing back, and I wouldn't call it a similar season last year because they always had a bullet in the chamber. When you have Isaac Dixon, you're never out of the game. And a lot of the games they lost last year were bad early in the season, but they were never to any other 3A teams. This is not the same Belfry team. I think they're really, really young. If you're going to beat Belfry, it'll be this year, but it won't be Floyd Central.
No.
Belfry.
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 Lawrence County's going to go to Boyd County. This is a really intriguing matchup. Evan Ferguson's team down there in Boyd County is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, they probably have, right now, out of the teams in Boyd County, the best win. Don't you think?
Ashland beat Boyd.
I
But
know.
they
but the best win, though.
Yeah.
What, over Greenup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they played Mason to the wire. Mason was missing their best
I thought
receiver.
Mason would be better than they are.
They're 6-0.
I thought they would be better, though.
I just
A lot of
think
people pick Mason to win the East. You don't think so?
No.
no.
The Mason team I watched play East Carter in the playoffs last year was pretty good, and they were all young, and they got them all back. Boyd County has really good linebacker play. They're pretty good up front. They've got some stud receivers, a really good quarterback. Lawrence County's just, they've really hit another gear. Lawrence County.
I'll take the Dogs.
I think Lawrence County is going to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback Friday night. I think they're going to come and control inside the box, inside the boxes. I think Lawrence County is going to beat Boyd County a couple of touchdowns.
He puts spreads on it. Sometimes they're dangerous. Round County's going to go to Holmes. Every time I've picked Round County this year, they've lost. So I'm going to go Holmes this time. Covington Holmes.
Holmes at home.
It's at Holmes. It's going to be Holmes this year. Holmes going.
Holmes all around.
They're
Shelby
having a good
Valley.
season. They beat a couple. On their side of the district up there, they're doing well.
Yeah. Maybe one of the probably the
One of the better
game
years.
of the week.
One of the better years they've had in a long time.
Yeah. Well, especially because they're not losing all their kids to Highlands. Well, they couldn't be because Highlands is not very good either for their class,
Cuff
anyways. Huh?
Kids still go to Cuff Cap.
Yeah. Maybe the game of the week in Eastern Kentucky, boys. Shelby Valley, who leads the state out of all classes in passing yards a game, is going to go to Prestonsburg, who's undefeated. Best start since 2009. That year, Prestonsburg went all the way to the state championship game and lost to DeSales. And DeSales is since then, oh God, how is DeSales that bad? Anyways, Russ Osborne leads this passing attack for Shelby Valley. And it's receiver by committee. They just bring in another receiver, and they've got a couple studs, a couple guys that stand out above the best. And then you got, on the other side, completely opposite. Brandon Brewer runs wing T. They're going to try to limit the possessions that Shelby Valley has, shorten the game, and they're going to have to prevent the big plays. I really, really like Prestonsburg. I think they're a really good team. Shelby Valley's too much, though, too much scoring. And I don't think and you know how it is. You know how it is better than anybody. When we got behind at Russell, if it was multiple scores, it was really tough to come back because of the way we ran offense. You can't just get in it. There's no 2-minute drill in the wing T. I'm not saying that they don't have other things
Except
in the book.
at Newport, when Tommy Brown, 2-minute drill for the win.
That was different. I was at that game.
That was desperate.
That was different.
Derek Timberlake with the box.
Do you remember that game? Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
They had to put us coach up there at Newport. They put us both on the same side, and there was only the stands were probably as wide as this room.
Yeah,
there was nowhere to go, and you had to walk 2 miles to get to the football field, didn't you? You had to walk underneath the bridge, the highway, and
Well, it's on the side of it. It's right down right off the main.
you would never know where it's at unless you knew where you were going. And back then, there was no.
now.
Yeah, back then you would have never known where you were going. I'm telling you, there was no Google Maps. Nobody had smartphones back then. It was me getting a brochure out to try to find where Newport High School was at.
And it's hard to find.
And we blocked an extra point. It was an extra point to win.
Derek
And-
Timberlake.
Yeah, and we ended up going to state and winning next year. But anyways, that was a great game. That was great. I remember that. Shelby Valley too much.
I'll take Valley. I almost took Prestonsburg, but
Did I persuade you a little bit?
a little bit, just a little bit. Not if that's good or bad.
You're taking
leading the state in
take
passing.
Valley.
Leading the
take
state in
Valley.
passing was the nail in the coffin.
You're taking Shelby Valley too.
I think he's going to go.
I'm going to, guys. I'm going to do a Lee Corso on you. Just wait a second here now. You're going to Lawrence County. Actually, I'm not starting at Lawrence County. You're going to Peaburg. It's a different place up there. Coach, you played up there before.
Yep.
I've coached up there. It's tough up there. It is
It
a tough
is.
place to come in and play. I think they're going to put too much pressure on this quarterback, and they're going to force him to run. I think they're going to get it into a close ball game. I think they're going to tie up. Prestonsburg going to tie up the football, like you said, in the wing tee and control it.
Shorten the game.
I'm picking Prestonsburg.
Upset special. That's your super dog pick, isn't it? It's super dog, isn't it?
I let them down early in the season,
Yeah.
not picking them, but now they brought it up to the promised land. So yes.
Team that's gaining some momentum at the right time, especially with district play underway. East Ridge is going to go play Martin County. Like you said, another place that's tough to play down there at the Rock.
Yeah.
And from all of us older people, it was always Sheldon Clark. So when you see Martin County, it doesn't have the twang that Sheldon Clark had. Because when you heard Sheldon Clark, you're like, oh God, we're going to get, no matter what, I'm definitely probably going to have at least blood coming from my nose. Okay, so they're not there yet. Martin County too much for East Ridge. Give me the Cardinals.
Martin County got a really good running back.
Yeah, he's doing real well. I'm gonna go Martin County too.
Lewis County, the Fighting Merle Kidwells are boys that are rolling. And when I say rolling for them. You know, Lewis County, they went 2 years without winning a game or something like that, didn't
Yeah.
they? And now they've got Gene up there who knows what he's doing. He got a good staff around him. The kids believe, and that's the main thing. The kids believe they can win, and they've proven it. They're going to play Pendleton County. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, Pendleton's one of the weaker teams in the state. This would put Lewis at 4-2 and 2-0 in the district, with Fleming and Mason left to see if they can get a home playoff game.
I'm with Coach Kidwell there. I agree.
Almost
I agree
jumped
with
the
him
gun
100% on that.
Because they've got
You know what I was going to say?
they've got Phelps
That's a win.
and Fairview,
That's the win.
so they're looking at
That really it is.
possibly
It's 2
6
wins.
and 4, and they
And
only
probably.
Pendleton's worse. I'm not too sure.
I'm not giving up on Fairview. You
Those
guys
two
can
teams
just
can't
bury
beat
them in the ground.
Pendleton
I'm not
County.
giving up on them.
To be honest with you, the two you just said. So
Phelps.
yeah, I'm not too sure Phelps and Fairview can't beat Pendleton County. So it's going to be Lewis County straight out.
the Bracken game.
I
Probably.
can make a good joke right now, but I would get roasted for it, so I'm just not going to.
Better not.
Yeah, not. It wouldn't be derogatory. It was just, I better not.
But I will say, Lewis County's got their quarterback's pretty good.
Look,
Yeah.
and I've had area coaches tell me that there's kids on Lewis County's team that can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody.
Cherokee and then the
But
Noble
you
kid.
said one of the key words here earlier, Spence, is the coaches and staff now has got them kids believing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Champ did, and I always say this about Coach Champ up there at East Carter. I remember when I coached the All-Star game with him in 2016, and we talked about what I have to do to be on the lines with Johnson Central. And I said, have your kids believe and maybe play some teams and some games and get your kids, when you go 0-10 4 years, it's hard to get kids to stay out there, more or less get kids to come out.
And that's why I made it such a big deal when Fairview won their game against Morgan.
And then
You
these
know how
areas, you
awesome
don't
of a
have the
night
numbers.
that was for those boys.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's what they're doing down in Lewis County right now. I think their coach has done a great job so far. And I
don't care who they beat.
They
a
might-
win's a win.
Right.
They might be in a
They've
playoff
upgraded-
contingency
they've
there,
upgraded
yeah.
facilities down there and got them a better locker room, and I think
Lewis
he's got them
all
going the
around.
same way.
Lewis all around.
Perry County Central is going to go down to Paintsville. Paintsville, inconsistent. That's just the word for them this year. Inconsistent.
Young.
And you don't know which Paintsville team's going to show up. They have talent come down the pipe, but it won't be there Friday. Perry County Central.
I'll go.
I agree with you on that. Perry County Central.
Madison Central, boys, they're pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to go play Pikeville. No chance I'd ever go against Pikeville. I think this one's actually in Richmond.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's in Richmond. I think so. Unless Pikeville's going to play 3 straight home games. So they had Belfry at home. They had LCA at home. So, I think it's
I
in
don't know.
Richmond. I don't care where it's at.
That's what I'm
care if
trying to
they're
say. I don't care if it
playing
was in a-
Commonwealth
in a-
Stadium or Kroger Field. Pikeville.
I'll go Pikeville.
I'm not taking anything from Madison Central either. Good school, good football. But I don't care if they played in a pasture field anywhere. Pikeville beat them, period.
Pikeville. Fleming County is going to go to Powell County. Bill Spencer's too much. Too much from Fleming County. This one's at Powell County. Bill Spencer and the Panthers.
I'll go Fleming, but I think it'll be tight.
Tight, you think so?
Tight. Lewis and Powell down to the last
So
play.
you-
We'll get
I'll speak of that.
We'll get a feeling of how Lewis matches up with.
Estill and Powell was a good game week 1, and we got to see East Carter and Estill play, and that was a good game.
It was a good game.
surprisingly. And then the East Carter's coaches told me after the game, who is this team that showed up here in Grayson? Because he's like, we didn't really play that bad. They were just really good. Estill County. So be careful with that.
Now you picked Powell.
Fleming.
Okay, I was going to say Fleming all around in.
Yeah, Fleming. This game's on Saturday night. Elizabethtown's going to make the trip. It's a long bus ride. You talk about a long bus ride. It might be the longest one in Eastern Kentucky, coming from a team from out of the area. So what do you think? Elizabethtown, 4 hours probably.
No, it's just outside of Lexington.
Just outside of Lexington. Merle, what do you got, a private jet at your house?
How far is it?
Elizabethtown is not just right outside of Lexington.
It's
at least an hour drive outside of Lexington.
yeah.
Well, that'd be a 3-hour drive.
It's
Just outside of Lexington. Where is it? What are you talking about? Just outside of Lexington.
it's down there a little bit.
No,
E-Town.
more than an hour outside of Lexington.
Yeah, it's a little
More
bit
than an hour, for sure.
It's a nice little
30
drive.
minutes to Richmond from Lexington. Isn't it?
I'm not very good at geography.
It's a long.
It's a
on
haul.
a bus, you're looking at 3.5 hours.
Oh, definitely.
They might bring Greyhound though.
Rode that trip
Still a
last.
bus.
Might bring that. They might rent Ironton.
They might use
get
Merle's
Ironton.
private jet. He's
Rode
got.
that. Rode that trip last year. It's a nice little trip down there to E-Town.
Elizabethtown's a pretty town. This game's on Saturday. Elizabethtown is pretty good this year, guys. They're one loss. They did drop one to Bardstown, 21-0. Bardstown's ranked number 2 in a lot of the polls, behind, of course, the ununanimous. I mean, the powerhouse of 3A this year, and that's Cal. Elizabethtown, too much Elizabethtown. And you got to think, guys, where this game's on Saturday, these kids are going to, they're not going to be tired from school. They're going to sleep in the morning. They're going to eat a good breakfast. They're going to get on the bus, get here plenty of time. No one's going to be in a rush. Yeah, I know the bus ride, it sucks. But Elizabethtown, too many weapons, Elizabethtown.
Yeah, I think Ashland's run into what Russell and Raceland's run in, just getting games. Johnson Central runs into that.
Oh, we ran into
A lot of
both
local
of them.
teams won't play, so you're seeing Ashland playing a Hazard, playing Elizabethtown. They have to go to West Virginia, but I'll take E-Town.
Well, that's usually what they've been. That's probably been their base schedule for the last 10 years.
I was
though, wouldn't you think?
surprised, playing them in 2020 state
Yeah.
championship, and you could pretty well tell 2020. And I'm going to brag on the guys from Ashland. They
The state championship that
yeah,
year
the
was
state
played at
championship.
Putnam Stadium, though,
We
with
had
Russell and Ashland.
we had some great years. Yeah,
That's the state championship because I went and watched Elizabethtown in 2020,
Yeah.
and they weren't very good.
they were
West
good
3A that year was
record-wise.
terrible.
They were great record-wise, but when you look at the teams that they played,
Yeah.
when we were scouting them and looking at them,
Cal was bad that year.
yeah, a lot of teams were not as good, but they were good, talented. A lot of young kids, a lot of sophomores playing on that team that year, and we just dominated them. And we had, that was a pretty good 2020
Well, when you
football
have guys
team.
like Keontae
At
Pittman
Ashland.
and JT Garrett on the team, you're never out of the game. And if you get the lead, boys, it's
Russell,
you're in trouble.
Russell
I mean,
was
the defense-
right there.
I think if Russell wins that game, they win state.
Our defensive front, our defensive front that year was, outstanding.
That was
Linebacker
the
crew
game of the
outstanding,
year.
and the secondary was good, really good. I mean, we just handled them.
That was the most
Controlled
physical
everything they
football
had.
game I've seen all year. Was Russell and Ashland at Putnam.
But one thing about E-Town, they like to throw a lot of quick passes out. They like to get the ball to their receivers and let them make the
which
plays.
should benefit Ashland, because Ashland's got a good secondary.
Not bad this year.
It's
They're
not
getting
bad.
better.
I know West Jessamine, but West Jessamine has Pookie Jones' son, who could. He's almost like the Lamar Jackson of that area. He can throw it well, and I kind of would rather him throw it than him run it.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be. Ashland's going to have to be healthy at linebackers, for sure. And up front, they're going to have to put a little pressure, and kind of control the line of scrimmage against E-Town. A lot of speed, quickness, but I'm still going to. This is probably going to be a pretty senior dominant Elizabethtown team,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go with Elizabethtown.
So he picked Prestonsburg in his super dog pick, but wouldn't pick his Tomcats. Sean's disappointed. You think Sean? Who would Sean pick? I wonder. I didn't send Sean the list.
I'm wondering about.
I think
the
Sean
plays.
would pick Elizabethtown. I just think he would.
Schrader's having a phenomenal year.
Ashland's got
Phenomenal
some
year.
great young talent.
Houston's
Ashland's
having
got
a great
crazy
year
good
at receiver.
Asher
The threat
Yeah.
can they burn the secondary? Will the secondary of Elizabethtown bite on?
Well, I think that
Ashland's
they're going to get
passing?
a few of those.
Right. Jennings is doing a good job.
But Jennings
there.
has
Yeah.
stepped his game up.
They're gonna get
For a young kid, he's playing tremendous. It's going to be a close game. I'm just going to say again, Ashland's and I look at the play call because they're in every ball game tight, and they're down inside the red zone, and they've lost a lot of red zone plays
Yeah.
where they should have put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fabricate about nothing.
So
They should
you
have put the
say
ball in the end zone.
they're going to have to execute better in the red zone.
A lot better in the red zone than they have been in the past to beat D-Town.
And I think that everybody would pretty much agree with
Yeah.
that. You know, that's not a secret or a controversial statement.
But I think it's going to be a real close game. I mean, just like it was last week.
But I'll top you here. I think that if they're even in the red zone to beat Elizabethtown, they play pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I think Elizabethtown's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, what are they? 4-1, lost to Bardstown. Who
They are good, and also a team that's good. Like you said, they're highly
This would
ranked.
be, if Ashland could pull out this win, that would be a season-changing win.
That would be definitely a season-changing
catapult.
win, and that would catapult them for the district.
Right, and of course, you mentioned the district, Greenup, Russell, and East all off this week. So I would say a lot of those kids will be over there on Saturday night.
How you shaping up the district?
Man, I still don't have a clue. Do you? I mean, what would you do?
It's
Right
wide-
now, if I had to pick a favorite,
It's wide open.
I'd probably put Greenup there. I'd probably put Greenup as the Vegas favorite. I mean, wouldn't you? Who would you put as a favorite right now? But I think all of them could win it.
Right.
I mean, nobody's out of it. Russell's winless, but I think that they have a legit chance.
They get Greenup and East at home.
I mean,
I'm with. I don't know.
Russell's not out of it yet. East Carter's good, and I'm not saying Russell's bad, but they're down for what
And we've
they
talked
usually
about
are.
this week in and week out. Every week that this is the toughest district to pick.
I would, if I had to put a favorite right now on it, it'd be Greenup.
Where's East Ashland play?
Putnam.
Putnam.
So
Me and Jeff and-
Ashland's got 2 at home.
Me,
huh?
Jeff, and Cole may have the biggest game in the district.
Who's that?
Eastern Greenup.
Could be.
2 weeks. When Greenup rolls in, if you see, and not this week but next week, if East goes to Ashland and wins, which is possible, and if Greenup beats Russell, and I say if because I'm not counting out Russell yet, man, and I can guarantee you one thing: neither is Greenup's coaches. But I can tell you right now, they'll have their boys ready to play down there. Both teams will be.
We got to mention Kobe Rock this week.
239 yards. How many was it? 239 yards on the ground.
259.
259 on 38 carries. That's a pretty good game.
See, this district's what makes it fun for our job. Right or wrong.
No, it
makes
doesn't
fun
make
to
it
see
fun
the-
for my job because now it makes it difficult.
makes it fun
I
to
like
see the
older
kids play.
days when there was just one good team in it, and I could just, yeah, see, I'm a genius.
Patrick was like chain length away from the last first
Well, see, a
down.
lot of people told me that was a bad spot.
I was watching it on
Say it was a bad spot.
I was watching it.
Was it a bad spot?
He got spun around. It was hard to
Hard
see.
to tell. I didn't see it either. Either
But
way,
Rock, I mean,
he's stud, man. He's
I mean,
good.
One
And
thing-
he's really strong. He's like I mean, he's strong.
One
I mean,
thing
they were
about playing-
without Andre
And Auburn.
and Rock got the rock.
Rock got the rock.
Coach always knows this. One thing about playing the game of high school sports, right? It doesn't matter what the coaches or the players think was the first down, was the ball placed
Yeah.
wrong here, the stands think this or that. It's what that guys in them striped shirts say. They're never going to change a
Now,
call.
see-
Understand that? It's always going to go down their
A
way.
couple of years ago, I let emotion get the best of me over at Ireton when Russell and Ireton played. And Carrico kind of pinned that ball against his hip. This was not a catch. He never had it. And that official, I think he felt the peer pressure when he heard the Ireton crowd, so he just like, whoa, it's a touchdown. And it wasn't even close.
you
The
text
ball
me-
rolled down his leg.
Didn't they make a shirt of that?
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, I let him have it. They ended up escorting me out.
Well,
over it.
you text me after
No
last
way.
Yeah, they
Spencer.
did. It was
year.
terrible.
You didn't. You commit. You
That's the
text
best
me.
I've ever been leaving a football game. I'm telling you. That was
You text me after last year's Russell Ashland game. You remember? And I got a lot of texts from my Russell friends saying, "Thank you, Coach." They said, "Thank you
well,
for
I got
that,
a text
that,
from an
that
Ashland
penalty."
fan saying that he saw the officials out celebrating with the Russell kids. I said, yeah, I saw that too. What was going on with that? Obviously, that didn't happen, but we were having fun with it. Give me a favorite on the district. I went out on a limb. I didn't go out on a limb. I put,
On paper, I would say Greenup,
what do you
and-
think?
but just by. When's the last time Greenup won a district?
Well,
I think they've gotten over the hump of the jersey.
Well, I can tell you right now, Greenup didn't win a real game for over a year, and they've done that this year.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say on paper, it's like you, Coach Greenup, but I'm gonna shock everybody tonight
Here we
and say the
go.
Tomcats gonna win this. The Tomcats will come
They
back.
could do it.
The Tomcats will come back and they're gonna win this.
But it would mean more if I said it. just because
And
people.
who is the sister district that they match up
It is
with?
Belfry Lawrence. So, I actually was listening, when we go out to East Carter, Tim Champlin comes in the press box and does interviews. And he mentioned in that interview, he goes, this is probably a team we're going to play again. He goes, but we're going to have to go down there probably. He goes, this is a team that nobody wants to play right now. And he's talking about Lawrence County. Actually,
Belfry won too. I mean, they're going to have.
I
they're
know,
gonna have a
but-
tough first round game.
let me tell you something. Whoever, and he can say, whatever people can say about our district, Lawrence County and Belfry ain't going to have easy games either.
No.
I don't care where it's at.
Nope.
Greenup's already proven they can go to Louisa and win. So,
But can you do it twice?
well, if Greenup wins district, they won't have to. Lawrence County have to come up here if they win.
But it's still yet, can you do it twice? It doesn't, I've heard that, I hear that a lot.
Are the first
'cause I
three
remember-
rounds
they're
against
building-
the other district?
I'm not sure the format,
I
but I know
know.
that's our sister district.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. So essentially, from what I get, they're going to crown a district championship in the regular season.
Sure.
Which, when you've got a district like Bath, West, Martin, East Ridge, West, 5 teams in that district, Shelby Valley.
What about Mason County's district?
Only 4.
Mason, Lewis, Fleming, Pendleton.
That'll play out.
And
though.
Powell.
That'll play
Powell.
out, though.
I know, but
It'll be like on Friday Night Lights where they go to that little restaurant and they flip the coin
yeah.
to see who wins it. I would not do that. I would say, let's just
There's
play
going to be
game.
there's going to be a lot of games this year in the districts where he's going to have to win the championship by playing a team again that you've already played.
Well, I tell you
early
what,
season.
if
He's his at.
it don't matter when you have to play Belfry or Lawrence County. If you're going to go to Kroger Field, you have to play one of them,
Yeah.
no matter what round it is. So you might as well play them early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is their sister district, and I don't know who Raceland's sister district is. I would assume it'd be
Nicholas and that bunch.
maybe. I didn't even think about that. Is Nicholas 1A? I thought they were 2.
Yeah, Nicholas. Nicholas Bracken's in that district.
So who would be? So I guess Pikeville and Hazard and Phelps. See, they used to be a 4-team district, and Jenkins dropped their football program. Well, I guess Pineville would be their sister district then, wouldn't it? I don't know. There's not a lot of clarification on what's going on here, and you
There's
can't
not
find
very,
it.
there's only like 5 decent teams in Class A.
Well, there's only 2 elite teams in
Yeah.
Class A.
How many elite teams in 3A?
2. Cal's elite. They are.
All right. They're really good.
Cal's elite. And they're ranked 5th in the overall rankings of KSR out of all classes. But that's all the time we have this week, and we'll be back next Tuesday. Sean will be back. You're going to be back. You'll be back. And maybe our friend Tyler Parsley might join us if we can get out of the way of the webcam so he can dance and put glasses on and play his video games. We love him, though, don't we?
Yeah.
For Spencer Hutchinson, Merle Kidwell, Mark Salyers, and MJ McKay, this has been a presentation of Sports Central on the Eastern Kentucky Athletics and the Cool Hits Sports Network.
Increase community involvement, and improve the function and availability of the Sheriff's Department. With your support, we can make Carter County stronger together and a better place to live. Vote for Eric Ross for Carter County Sheriff. Paid for by candidate.
The award-winning florist All That Blooms has a new location, 402 East Main Street across from Pritchard Elementary in Grayson, with gifts for all occasions including birthdays, sympathy, holidays, and anniversaries. Shop Monday and Tuesday 9 to 5, Wednesday 9 to 2, Thursday 9 to 5, and Saturday 9 to noon, closed on Sunday. Call 474-0390 for All That Blooms at 402 East Main, your full-service florist serving Grayson and surrounding areas. Check them out on Facebook, allthatblooms.com. That's BLOOMZ.
Here at Infusion Solutions, one of the things that we're most proud of is the relationship that we develop with our patients.
From the people on the phone to the delivery drivers, I mean, these people are a part of my life. They take care of me. I would recommend Infusion Solutions to anybody.
Discover what we're all about right now at Infusion Solutions.